Hello, we have a new gate. We are in gate 50, and today we're going to be looking at the first line, which is called the Immigrant. So gate 50 is a splenic gate. Of course, we're still in splenic season, and this is the gate of values. The potential here is to be responsible or not. We know that every gate out of the splenic system is a gate of primal fear. And the primary fear of the 50th gate, and the fear that is at the heart of all awareness, is the fear of responsibility. The potential here is to be responsible or not, and the awareness potential is of values. This is the tribal lawgiver, because we are in the defense circuit, which is part of tribal circuitry. So the laws of the tribe are rooted in this existential awareness in this channel of the law. It establishes the law in the tribe, in the community, and in our culture. One of the things to recognize very clearly in the way in which we come together in our civilization is that this is all being dictated by the frequencies that originate in the 50th gate. The world we live in, the lives that we share with each other, and the way that we share those lives. It's all of it. All of it is dictated by the 50th gate and the frequencies that it creates. The lifetime learning says humbleness of origin that benefits rather than restricts destiny. So the 50th gate is the root of our human intelligence, the foundation of which is the awareness of the humbleness of origin, and points to our awareness beginning with migration. The moment that we move, that movement, we change the environment. And in that moment, we expand our awareness and our consciousness. And within that, we automatically expand our language because there are new things to describe. In the exaltation, it says the desire to be effective and successful that builds on the most fundamental strengths while it refines its nature. The awareness that the growth and refinement of values will benefit destiny. This is the encouragement that all first line people need. The moment that you recognize where your first lines are, you can also see that those are aspects in your nature that are not easily transferable outwards until you've really built your foundation. Those are areas in you that you need to focus on. This is the investigator. We have to feel secure and safe, which are also first line keynotes. We have to feel secure and safe in our foundation before we can start to talk about it, before we can put it out there. So wherever we have first lines, these are areas that require some patience and some time before that refinement can come. The whole thing about this really is recognizing that the fundamental strength is the foundation itself. First, you must have the foundation, and only from the foundation can refinement come. So if you're an immigrant and you are coming to a new land, to a new consciousness, you have to be able to plant yourself somewhere and begin this process of establishing a foundation, and then refinement can begin. If you have come from great poverty, you will not be able to rock up somewhere new and immediately start driving around in a Bentley. You have to spend your time establishing your foundation and slowly refining your nature so that you can fit into the culture around you. These people are very self-absorbed in this process. It's lower trigram after all. All the first three lines are going to be concerned about their laws. They will only contribute to the tribe when they bang into the tribe, because otherwise they don't really know that the tribe is there. They don't know that there's a 27 on the other end of the channel. When you get to the upper trigram, well, then you get into the very powerful business of caring and the link then, because the 50 can see the 27, and caring becomes very seductive to a 50. It really wants to get to that other side of the channel. It is as seductive as the 6 is to the 59 over on that other side, on the solar plexus side. But we're not in the upper trigram quite yet. In the detriment, it says a dissatisfaction with or embarrassment with origins. And that makes an obsession of refinement, a dissatisfaction with original values that demands refinement. This can be difficult, because you're uncomfortable with the foundation that you have, and you become obsessed with correcting it, with fixing it, or with refining it. These are people who are going to change their values, and it's so important to see that the basis of the law is about the ability to be able to fit the law correctly between past and future. It means there is already a shift taking place. And we know that because over time, our laws change. We have laws that become extinct. We have laws that disappear because we have that movement in time. And we've come from gate 32, which tells us the only thing that endures is change. And we come here into the laws and we find, of course, that the same hold true. We have that continuity, remember. We start off as immigrants. Awareness is something that is stimulated by change and difference. But at the same time, since this is tribal, the migration or the awareness, it has to be supported in order for everyone to be part of that together. Certain values have to be established. The first value is that it's important for us to find out what we don't know. This is the channel of custodianship. When it's linked up with the 27 at the other end of the channel, nobody is going to take legal custody of anything without getting the whole story. And in order for that custody to take place, there's going to have to be all kinds of support. This is tribal. And there's going to have to be a clear acceptance of communal values. And all of this comes with a sense of responsibility. This is the beginning of what we would call our moral codes. This is the line of establishing the original code. This is the first law, and it may be very primitive and need to be refined. You can't do that until you've established the foundation of civility in society. And then you can begin to refine the law. This is the beginning of the legal process. Now you have a moral code, which is your foundation, and then you begin to refine that code to establish the law for civilization. When you have a judge sitting in the court and he has a first line, he is likely to be the kind of person who will go into his introspection and say, yes, in this case, perhaps the law could be refined to allow you this particular difference of yours. This is the nature of the line. It doesn't just say, this is it, this is how it is. It investigates. It has that desire to refine. And whatever it sees that is weak, it tries to strengthen. Although the reverse is also true. There are many people who see what is strong and try to weaken it. There's always the other side through introspection. You look at it and you say, this needs to be refined. Let's take the strong and make it weak. It doesn't just go one way. We live in a binary. This is a frequency, and depending on circumstances, it is either the weakness that needs to be refined or the strength that needs to be refined. So we are grounded through this sun transit with the earth in gate 3. And in the first line, we find synthesis. Difficulties can be only overcome when all the pertinent factors have been analysed. And this is pretty perfect for a line that is beginning to establish the tribal laws. Let's have a bit of analysis of pertinent factors. In other news, we have the channel with Mars and the North Node. That's still active. That's the 1762, the channel of acceptance. It's a design of an organizational being. This is a logical collective channel running between the ajna and the throat. It's the expression of the stream of understanding, which begins in the gate of doubt, in the 63, in the head center, doubts that get answered in gate 4, which brings the possibility for the collective to hear the outcome. Opinions which are based in fact, backed up by detail, and to accept these outcomes for the benefit of the organization that they bring. We also have a channel all through this transit with the Earth in gate 3 meeting Pluto in gate 60. So this is the format gate, format channel, and it's the channel of mutation. So yeah, there's something to be on the lookout for, changes that might come. You might suddenly feel the need to change or notice there are changes in your environment. And the only thing that endures is change. So it's quite likely you might see something in your environment that's changing. But this particular channel it works in a pulse. This is the energy of it. So it might be that something suddenly, it's individual. So it also comes with some melancholy. As a format gate, that melancholy can be a little bit more focused and concentrated. So it could become a depression because of that pulse energy that is there and it's not there. And there's no telling when it's going to come again. This can, lead to that energy of frustration and depression. The moon is still in gate 23 since 0303 this morning. This is the gate called splitting apart. It moves through individuality and through the throat gates into gate 8. This is the moon. Sorry, I wasn't very clear, was it? I could hear it in my own head thinking, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Okay, I'm going to start that little bit again. The moon is still in gate 23. Okay, so this is a throat gate. The moon is moving through some throat gates at the moment and staying with individuality. That's what I was trying to say. And the next transit through is gate 8. And this is the G center gate. Again, of course, individuality at 1209. We're still in BST, not for much longer, but we've got a little bit more. So 1209 BST. And gate 8 is the gate of contribution. It's individual, it's empowering, it's a mutative contribution. This is a gate that has to lead by example. It's the only way that the contribution of the individual can ever be accepted by the collective. It would only lead to resistance otherwise. And gate 20 is next at 2119, and this is going to bring us a channel with Venus, which is currently in gate 34, and it's called the channel of charisma. It's the only pure manifesting generator channel that we have in the body graph. It's a channel that is very attractive to others. It can move fast. It can display a great joy when it is doing its thing, when it has responded to doing something and it's doing what it loves. That's where its charisma comes from. And that can also lead to it becoming a slave for other people who want to make use of that delicious energy that we see in the 3420. This is the only direct link that goes from the sacral center to the throat. And Ra said that for that reason, it was the only sacral voice that could actually vocalize rather than just grunt. But often when it's in response, it's moving so quickly that it hasn't actually got time to grunt or give any kind of a verbal response. Also, we are all individuals, and there is that possibility that this is not your experience, that you have the 3420 and you're perfectly able to grunt, or you don't move as quickly, or, we all have our own way of expressing. And if you've got it unconsciously, that's going to be a different expression or experience again. So yeah, it's always a living system, human design. We can't ever really say, absolutely, this is how you're going to experience that channel, because it depends on so many other things that are going on in your particular design. If it's a Sun-Earth configuration, then that's going to be one thing. Maybe you have it in your nodes, it would be something else. Maybe it's in a split, and again, it's something else. So lots and lots of different ways of expressing and experiencing these different activations in our charts. The moon moves into gate 16 at 06:34 tomorrow morning. This is the collective logical gate of skills and enthusiasm. It's a throat gate. Again, the moon is doing its throat thing. It is expressing the stream of talent, which comes up from gate 58 in the root, goes 58 is the gate of vitality and the joy of life. And there is a great joy in fueling correction, which is the channel that it's in. It fuels correction up in the gate 18. It fills the well with solutions in gate 48, and then it comes into gate 16 for its expression. If you've got the whole stream, of course. It's just, I would love to, or what I am doing, which I love to do, is introduce you to some of the other mechanics that are within the system. Some people have been in design for many years and have never come across streams. So it's just another way of introducing, as I say, some of the mechanics that go on. So gate 16 is expressing mastery. It might be something that comes from the arts. It's very often that. And we often associate talent with something to do with the arts in some sphere. But it could also come from the sciences, but it could come from all sorts of areas. It could be culinary. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I'm just going through all sorts of areas now in my open head. Anything that requires repetition in order to achieve mastery, that's what is going to come through in this particular gate channel stream. So that is us for today. Welcome to gate 50. I'm looking forward to this exploration with you. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the second line. Until then, as always, subscribe to my channel. I have to get used to saying that apparently. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. And if you have already subscribed, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you hugely. I love everybody who watches my videos and people who comment. And it's really a delight for me to have the exchanges with you and the engagement. And I appreciate the time you take to comment and to watch. So thank you very much. I will see you again tomorrow. Go gently.